Hello, everyone. My name is Erin Ficca. I'm the coordinator of alumni programs here at Snyder Hockey. I am here tonight to go through a live workshop. Well, it's not live anymore, a recorded workshop about the alumni hiring process and about how high school seniors who are graduating and current alumni can become coaches at Snyder Hockey. So I'm going to be using two documents tonight. So the one is this one. And for those of you at home, this is just the email printed out that I sent on Constant Contact. And I'm going to be using this one, which is a schedule of our staff at the rinks, our post-secondary advisors at the rinks. So this one first. This one has the entire alumni hiring process on this. The very first step is your pre-application meeting. So the pre-application meeting is going to be with an advisor. And a little disclaimer, we changed the name of the staff, so what were alumni counselors are now alumni advisors, so that's who I'm speaking about, okay? With a high school advisor at a rink, and that's what this other sheet is for. In case you're not sure who's working when, this has every rink and who's working at them. You need to schedule that meeting because you need to bring with you to that meeting a resume and a cover letter. If you have a digital copy, meaning like on a zip drive or on Google Docs or something like that, you can bring that. If you have a laptop, and it's on there, I would bring the laptop with you. But you need to do that because the advisor is going to be going over those things with you. You are also going to be doing a mock interview at that meeting. Don't stress. It's not super intense. They're just there to prep you because once you go through the process, at the end of the process, you will need to interview after you fill out an application. The deadline to have this meeting, if you are a current high school senior, is April 6th, which just so happens to also be the deadline that you need to have your decision check-in done for your post-secondary requirements. You may not have heard that yet, but that's what it's going to be. So we're going to have everything done and finished by April 6th, and then hopefully you'll be good to go. The next step is the application. After I get all of your documents from the advisor, from the high school advisor, I will send you a link because it's an internal application for alumni coaches, which means you can only apply if I send you the link, which means you have to do everything I asked you to do in order to receive that link. But I will send that after I get all of your documents, and then it's on a website called NetChecks. You will have to create an account. It's what we do all of our HR things through. And it walks you through everything, and you will have to fill out the application online. That's easy, right? And you have between April 6th and April 20th to completely fill out that application. Also, if anything comes up and you can't get on NetChecks or anything during that time, you can always just email me, and I'll walk you through it. So that deadline for the application is April 20th. The interview, then between April 27th and May 25th, you will be invited to the Snyder Hockey offices to do an interview in person in the office. In the past, Coach Gill and I have done all of these interviews, but there's a lot of you now. So it's probably going to be other alumni coaches that you're aware of who will be doing these interviews. And those interviews, again, they're formal and they're professional, but they're not super high stakes. They will be questions to just ask you about your strengths and what you bring to the table as an alumni coach. Offers of employment. This is where I wanted to draw your attention because this is very specific to Snyder Hockey. So for alumni coaches, let me backtrack. So when you apply to other positions outside of Snyder Hockey, you either get offered the position or you don't get offered the position, right? At Snyder Hockey, that we know that there's a lot of things that come up. So we have a third option, which is volunteer to hire. This comes up in some cases. A lot of times, it might not be super applicable to this group because you are a DVHL team, but for other alumni who aren't on a DVHL team, who may not be coming to the rink every single day, the rink site coordinators might be like, I'm not sure that this person is super committed, if they're definitely going to show up every day, but I think they have the potential to. They offer them this, which means they come in anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks, and they volunteer, and they prove that they're going to show up every day that they're supposed to show up, and then at the end of that, they usually get offered a paid position of employment. If this is what you go through, you will have an evaluation meeting at the beginning with me and the site coordinator. about the things that we want you to work on while you're volunteering, and then at the end of whatever period we said it was, so that you have full transparency of where we're coming from and what we're looking for. We have had several alumni go through this process, and they ended up being some of our best coaches. So it is a really good process, and it doesn't come up super often, but just so you know, that is there. So the other thing is, if you do get volunteer to hire and you're not offered a paid position right away, and you do the volunteer to hire process, the end result is that you did what you were supposed to do, and now you will get offered a paid position. Step 5 is orientation. So this is 3 full days in June. Coach Gill and I, again, run this. This is mandatory. So unless you have a trip that's planned before today that you're getting this information, or some emergency comes up and you want to work for us at Snyder Hockey, you have to be at this. This is super important. We run through a lot of really important training. Coach Gill, me, Coach Jeremy, Coach Moo this year, Hillary, if you've met her, we're all going to be giving you really essential information, tools, and strategies to be able to best support our current student athletes right away when you hit the ground running at summer camp. Your HR orientation, which is separate, will be part of this orientation, so you will not have to go to that separately. You will have to go to what's called mandated reporter training separately. All Snyder Hockey employees must go to that. Shadowing. This says all alumni coaches are assigned to shadowing. Actually, now all Snyder Hockey employees must have 2 weeks of shadowing. So what we do for you all is try to assign you with a really high-flying Snyder Hockey coach currently. Some of them, most of them you all probably already know. And then for 1 week you follow that person around, and then for the next week you follow a different person around the whole week. So if you were offered immediate hire, you get paid for that also. If you were volunteer to hire, your volunteer period is during your shadowing. So you're doing 2 at once, so you don't have to repeat them. And this is just to make sure that, especially with summer camps, you're not assigned to your home rink or where you're assigned to work at that rink. You're assigned where summer camp happens. So it's just to get the flow of summer camp, to make sure that you have eyes on our children at all points, things like that. And just all the different responsibilities that come up during the day. The last one is you're officially a coach. So this is it. Once you get through all of that, you're done with me in terms of coaching at Snyder Hockey. Then you're a full-fledged coach, and it's your responsibility to speak with your supervisor at the rink or DBHL, depending on where you end up coaching with us, and make sure that you're just on the schedule and you're showing up when you're supposed to show up. So that, I know that was a lot of information. The last page in this also has the timeline at the glance, so if you just want to look at all of the deadlines and all the dates. And orientation is in red multiple times on this sheet. And it's after almost all of the graduations, and it's also after senior night, which we will be announcing in the next 2 weeks. So that way there shouldn't be any disputes or worries about timing or dates or things like that. So the question was, what is the pay rate? The pay starts at $12 an hour. We do reviews at the end of each fiscal year, and so you have the opportunity to get a raise at the end of each year.
If somebody's interested in working, but they know summer's going to be tough and then they're going off to school, should they still apply? How should they approach summer?
Yes. So my recommendation is, especially because we have so much concerted effort on this application process right now, is you should go through the process right now. It's going to be harder once you're at school to try and do this remotely. And to do it now, and just because you apply, and even if you apply and accept the job, it doesn't mean you have to work. You can, we're very flexible with our schedules, as almost everybody here who works here can tell you. And if you have plans all summer, you can be like, hey, I can't work this summer, but I want to work when I come back from winter break. Because if you try to apply before winter break, you might not get hired in time. Winter break's only 4 weeks. So you might not get hired in time to start over winter break. So my recommendation is always to go through this process now, get hired, become a Snyder Hockey employee, and then you can figure out your schedule with your supervisor once that process is over.
And just to piggyback off of that, you may have little windows to work this summer. This would be the best opportunity to have everything done, get the orientation, be teed up, and at that point, you may say, I can only work these 2 weeks out of summer, and then I got to get ready for school, and I got vacation. That's perfectly fine. You get in whatever experience you can, and then, especially if you cover your shadowing, come back from winter break, get some hours in, get some experience working, and earn some money while you're home too. So
Definitely. The question was, once you're hired and working for Snyder Hockey, kind of what is the process, or how long does it take to actually be working with a team? To assign to a specific team to go through the whole season with them. And I'm actually going to not answer that, and I'm going to let Coach Gill answer that.
So try to answer this objectively as possible. So, a lot of times life can get in the way, but first and foremost, prove yourself. Earn a good reputation. Be reliable. Be somebody that can be counted upon. Be somebody that when your supervisor, site coordinator, whomever it is, schedules you, you're there. If you're not there, you're communicating. Most players do this at this age, with whether they're on SHL or travel teams. They're letting people know when they can't be there, when they can be there. Starts with that. Starts with earning a good reputation with your peers, with the coaches you work with, and definitely with your supervisors. If you're doing that, everything within your control, your schedule might play a part too, right? We have some fantastic alumni coaches that I would love to put in some high-level coaching opportunities, but they're also in school. It's just not feasible right now. So they dive in and get involved with as much as they can when they can. But they're well on their way. But everybody's schedule is different. Not everybody's in college. Some people are in trade school. Some people are working local. So everybody, availability can definitely factor into it. So not to have a cop-out answer of you just have to, show yourself. But something we talk about at alumni orientation is the biggest hurdle you have to get through is not looking at yourself like you're your age with your lack of experience. Work with what you have. We say this every June. There's no better potential for an effective coach here than someone who's been a Snyder hockey student. You understand what it's like. You understand this is your existence. This is what you came up with hockey, whether you play for a high school team or not. Like, Snyder hockey. It's affected you in a personal way, and I think that gives any alumni a leg up on anybody coming from the outside. Nobody knows Snyder hockey more than you guys, and it should connect even deeper with you guys. So we try to get across to any prospective alumni that lean on that. Lean on what you do have, which is a huge leg up. And don't look at yourself like, I'm only this old and I only have this much experience, because it's the real world. You get Coach Colin or myself or somebody looking at you like, hey, I'd love to work with that person. I don't care what age you are. If you're available and you're reliable and you're putting in a good attitude, good effort, doors will open for you. It's like anything else in life. I'm glad you asked that question.
Have it right. If you start here at Snyder Hockey, can you become a goalie coach? Is that correct? So absolutely. We have coaches that, played at all different levels, played all different positions. So we want to use that so we can have our kids gain a better experience. A lot of us, we all played the game of hockey, but the position of goaltending better than anyone else. You know that it's not just get in front of the net and stop the puck. The little details, the mental side of the game. So absolutely, we'd love to have you help out at the rink, doing all different types of things, but when it comes to goalie practices or going to a DVHL practice and working with goalies, you'd be someone that we definitely rely on to help out with that position.
Is this opportunity only for graduating seniors?
Great question. So yes, right now this opportunity is only for graduating seniors and current alumni once you're graduated. The reasoning is that at Snyder Hockey unfortunately you can't be a coach and a participant, and we have a lot of opportunities, support, and other things going on that we want you to be able to partake in as a participant. So we ask that all our high school students graduate the program with us and finish out senior year, and then are invited to come back and work for us. Go ahead.
So you can't do any of the steps unless you're a graduate, right?
Yes. Yes. So the question was, you can't do any of these steps that we've been talking about for 45 minutes until you graduate. Yes, that is, well, so this is what we're talking about right now. Let me go back to that. High school seniors, we're putting them through the process right now. So that's why I'm talking to you guys today. So any of you that are seniors can start this process right now. So that technically you'll be offered employment upon graduation. But you'll have everything in place so that we can do that, and you can say yes if you want to right away when that happens. Go ahead.
So over the summer camps, would you like have to be scheduled for like one camp, or could you work specific days within the camp?
So you can do both. The question is, this is a really good question. For summer camp scheduling, are you scheduled to work one specific camp, or can you be scheduled specific days through consistently throughout the summer? And the answer is you can do both. So ideally, the easiest thing for us is to block schedule you into weeks of camp. But if you have another job or you have other responsibilities that only allows you to work certain days of the week, we also take that into consideration, and we will schedule you that way also. Okay, so thank you guys again. I know some of this was a little long and tedious in the middle there, but I'm hoping that the seniors in the room will go through the process now, and any underclassmen, you'll be looking forward to this next year. I'm just gonna put my email address on the screen. Please email me if you have any questions. This is one of my favorite parts of my job to work on. Please email me, ask me any questions.